How are you? Welcome to another edition of Thursday Night Live Music. On the show this week, we have Dr. Adam Zanolini, and he'll be joining us shortly. We did a test before, and it worked out. I'm working blue tonight for some reason. No, nothing intended for that. I'm going to bring up some conceptual things I was thinking about earlier this week with Adam to see how what he thinks about it. I like talking to other intellectually minded people about what's possible, what's not possible, what happens with Adam to see how he
Yeah,
Adam, how are you?
What it is, man?
It's good. That's what it is.
Yeah, I
Isn't
just
it?
heard that you're getting above the weather. You're not under the weather.
Yeah, I'm up there. I like to. You can't live up there all the time, but it's a good place to be.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I do know just what you're talking about, man. Because sometimes people want to blast off, into outer space. And I like to blast off into outer space too, but it's kind of tough making a living out in outer space, man.
Well, it's good to have it's good to be grounded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's where a lot of people live. And if you want to hit people in their hearts and souls, a lot of people are earth based or dirt based. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
so you got to touch them there. But then, as a creative, it's kind of our job to give you that safe tether to outer space.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
How's that sound?
I can feel it, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. So,
ladies and gentlemen, this is Thursday Night Live Music. And this is my guest tonight is Adam Zanolini, Dr. Adam Zanolini.
Well, hello, everybody. This is I'm going to tell you, this is my Instagram debut. I've never done an Instagram.
Well, that's good. I like providing that platform for you.
Cool.
You know, it's one of the many we have these days.
Yeah.
You know, Adam, well, I'd like to talk to you a bit before we start. I mean, of course, everybody knows at a certain point, we're just going to get into it and we're going to take you someplace and then we'll safely bring you back. But before that, Adam, you've been executive director of the Elastic Arts Foundation.
Yeah.
For a number of years now.
3 years, I think, exactly.
3 years.
Almost exactly to the 15th of October was my anniversary.
Nice,
3
nice.
years.
Well, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for doing what you do. And of course, it's not just you. There's a whole crew over there.
Yeah, we got a brilliant team of staff, volunteers, board members, just cool ass people, especially artists. I mean, that's what Elastic is really all about. It was started by artists just wanting to make art, and they made a place to do it. And so everybody is always contributing to the space, always, bringing positive energy. Mm-hmm. Always helping out, rolling up sleeves, getting their hands dirty and everything. Yeah. So, I couldn't do anything without all of the people that are there working on that.
You're right.
I just get to steer,
Well, I'll tell you the product, meaning the music and the art that's come out of Elastic, not just the last 3 years, of course, but for quite a while, but particularly we can talk about the last few years. Has just been really like no one else is doing what you all are doing.
Yeah, that's what we try to do. I mean, we try to make a space for people to do some shit that they can't do other places.
Right. Like not just the forum to get weird, but the forum to sort of get deep and get sort of get beautiful but without parameters of well, hey, how about you do this or how about you end it this way? I've found that just working with Elastic, the sort of like the little bits that I have, is that it's wide open, and but the support is there so that you don't feel like you're out there by yourself or your crew is sort of just doing something. It's a safe environment for for, like you said, saying what you want to say, which is, that's important, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us, we come through. I mean, there's people coming from all different kinds of traditions and idioms and disciplines, but a lot of us have to do with jazz. And we love jazz very much at Elastic. Jazz used to be dangerous. It used to be really dangerous music. Like if you found out your kids were listening to jazz, you were pissed off, Like, and now it's not quite like we try to make a danger place. It's still safe, but it's dangerous to, establish structures of hegemony and subordination and subjugation and all kinds of, evil oppression. So that's kind of where the danger comes in. And so I think that's sort of part of the paradigm is, when you when you create a space for people to do whatever they want, they can do whatever they want. We're not worried about them undermining our privileged position in any way, So we try to amplify those voices.
There you go.
Because elsewhere they're a little bit, suspicious of people who want to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's all kinds of space for that to happen at Elastic. And that's one of the things about it that I love, working there, because I'm always challenged. I'm always surprised. I'm always like, finding new ways to question, the things that I've always assumed,
Right.
So that's why I think art is important. It's not just pretty. It's also very, very important to the structure of our society, So that's why I feel as though the work that we all come together to do, and the work that you do, Lou, and having this series and doing the art that you do and engaging with the music and visualizing and exploring that relationship between, music and visual art is like there's no it's extremely important work that we're doing. So anyway,
I think you're right. Yeah. And that's let me I'm gonna. Just because I have you on the program, I had one of those notions the other day, right? Where it's like, usually I would sort of call somebody up or, sort of bounce this off another person who considers himself an intellectual of sorts. But since I have you on the program, I'm gonna read you what was in my head, and then you give me your reaction. How's that sound?
Okay.
All right. So I was thinking, visual art, even the space created by like animation and film, strives for the depth that's created by music. All right. Which is very wide, and music alludes to the depth created by like reading literature, sort of like that relationship of a screenplay to a film, that kind of thing, which tells me that the imagination is the key to unlocking truth. And, truth will set you free. And then I sort of go off a little bit of that. But I guess what I was thinking I was getting at here was, why am I as a visual artist so drawn, like a husband to a bride, to music, and it's the storytelling, of course, but it's really the space that it creates. Like oftentimes visual art, especially film and animation, they kind of give you the story, like here's what to think a little bit, and literature gives you the screenplay or gives you the thing, and your imagination takes over and you become part of the story. And one of the things I love about music is like music is the soundtrack to the life that you're living right now, and it gives you that space to, it's a space for dialogue, and particularly right now, which I feel like we're living in a society here, especially in this middle part of North America, where dialogue is discouraged, or the lack of dialogue is used to divide us when that's not a truth, because the truth is, we're all right there in the middle. We all sort of want to get along, do our thing, do our job, and I don't know. That was my thought about music, and that's something that Elastic is providing, and it also gets me to the. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's definitely domains we are trying to explore. Is because, not only is it like a relationship, and sort of like music is trying to get at like a depth of, things that are happening in literature, and visual arts are trying to get to that certain depth. But I feel as though like what Elastic helps us to do, and a lot of the work that people are doing at Elastic is sort of to question those boundaries, Like, like maybe it's more, you know, it's better to kind of think about the sort of like the creative origin of all of those things that are all kind of aspects of the same thing, you know. So like that's kind of what I love about the work that happens at Elastic is a lot of times people are crossing boundaries. We have film and we have music together. What would a film be with no music in it? I mean, have you seen a film with no music in it? I don't want to watch a film with no music in it. You know,
no,
like
I put my music into
it, and the images and stuff, they kind of really go together. You know, but like it's, I don't know. Somehow in our world, like people have somehow found a way to divorce music and dance. Like dance is one thing and music is another. You know, or like visual art is one thing and film is another and theater is another and music is a different thing and ritual is a different thing and poetry is something other than song, you know. And you can think about the qualities, you know, and vivisect everything like that, you know. But and I think that's probably, you know, people have, you know, done a lot of good stuff doing that. But at the same time, I feel as though we've kind of gotten lost in all of those divisions to really unlock all of the power that is there to be unlocked. You got to find all the ways that those things all fit together and strengthen each other. And so that's kind of one of the things, you know, like in academic settings and stuff, that all these different departments and it's all kind of departmentalized and stuff. And so people kind of got to de-educate themselves in those terms in order to kind of find ways that everything like all kind of hangs together and inspires each other. And the relationship between like, like, you know, especially like jazz music, free jazz, avant-garde jazz, out music, creative music, and visual art and like poetry is like a wonderful example of that. And all of those things can all kind of happen together and strengthen each other, you know?
Right.
And I've seen that happen in ways that I never imagined were possible, you know? So when those things start to happen, then it's like playing different instruments to me. You know, I love to play different instruments because they're all like superheroes, you know, like when you play the drums, it has a special rhythmic quality. It also has a quality of song, you know, that a lot of people don't hear. But like, that's one thing. If you play the keyboard, that has a special quality of enabling you to deal with chords and things like that. It's superpower, you know. When you play the saxophone or the flute or something like that, then it has like a lyrical quality. When you have a voice, you can not only have that lyrical quality and that emotional capacity, but also you can carry some words. So like all of these different things, they're all doing music, and they all can, you know, you play rhythms on the saxophone, you can play them and stuff like that. But you can, it all has these, you know, special, you know, proclivities that allow you to really, really express the different dimensions of music. And I just feel as though all of those things are necessary. You know, you want to have a full band, you want to have some drums and a bass and a keyboard and you know, horn. Just like that, you want to have some visual art, you want to have some poetry, you want to have some dance, you want to have all of that together. So that's what I think we're trying to get at Elastic, even though you know, a lot of those different disciplines are kind of like want to be separate somehow.
Yeah, my sister is agreeing right there. Hey, Leah. Yeah, different characters that make the story complete. You know, and Adam, this makes me think of not only performances coming up, but your involvement with the AACM.
Okay.
Right. You know, I mean, we're talking about there's a concert coming up on the 30th or the 31st. Yes.
31st, we are having a screening of a film video production that is scored by the AACM, and it's a video that features a lot of really, really important historical information about Black people in the West, in the old West, outlaws and cowboys and lawmen in the old West, stories that are elided from history. Right? People don't think about like Black people in the West, but there were plenty of Black people doing really, really dynamic things in the old West. When you watch the Western, you never see anybody Black in those films, right? In all those movies. There's a whole genre of music, or television and film devoted to the West. Nobody Black in the whole thing, and everybody's like totally surprised that there were any Black people, African people living in the West. but there were quite a lot of them. So one of the most long-standing AACM members, Art Turk Burton, Congo player, brilliant brother and author, has been writing extensively on that history. And so Jonathan Woods, who's one of my favorite filmmakers, especially in Chicago, he has kind of put together a film. Spoken word and poetry comes in, and then it's scored by the AACM's Great Black Music Ensemble, which performed it at the Stony Island Arts Bank a month or two ago. So that's going to be screened on the 31st, on Halloween itself. So please come and check that out.
I've got my ticket, Adam.
All right. Cool. Yeah, it's through Eventbrite. I think we're making the tickets available.
Right. Yeah, and man, that's great. It's one of the positive things I think has happened because of this pandemic thing is it's pushed people to be more creative in terms of what they're producing. So they're often producing something that can be shared over and over, as opposed to going to a live performance that's very singular and fantastic. And if you're there, you get it. But if you're not, too bad. So nowadays, like everything's happening in a way that can be shared virtually. And man, I just think we're all, we're blessed this is happening. I remember seeing that Mr. Turk Burton was doing this years ago, writing books. And I was like, okay, this is a dialogue I want to explore, see what's been there. And I don't know, in terms of being a cinema person too, like the joining of the AACM and sort of like in the Western, Black American cowboy thing or whatever's going on, I was like, oh, I'm there. You know what I mean? Like all you need is Denzel to star in this, and here we go. But
it's out, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I had no idea about any of this stuff till Turk started trying to hip us to it. We were like, oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
So we decided we had to do something about that. This is the 55th anniversary year of the AACM. The AACM was founded in 1965. And, this was celebratory year. And then, the sky fell. But we had all kinds of stuff planned to do, which obviously couldn't really happen. But this was going to, the 31st was the day that we had set for a big event. We were going to perform compositions that were composed for the AACM to perform, and we're still going to do that. It's just not right now. But anyway, so this is not only a really groundbreaking piece of scholarship into art and film, music, and poetry, but it's also a celebration of the AACM's 55th anniversary.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, Adam. This is all getting me very excited, and I've been sort of amping myself up over the past, definitely last week, knowing that I'll be playing with you. We'll be doing a performance of some sort. When you feel like you are ready, and you feel like bringing a little something to the screen and to the audience here, I will ride along with you, and I will do a little something on this guy.
Okay, cool.
Kind of basically whenever you feel like doing that. You feel the vibe, and play as long as you want. Obviously, you and I could talk for a while, but I don't know. I'd like to give the folks an example of what is possible, even in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Between two creatives that like each other and they enjoy what each other does, and make it simple like that.
Yeah, let's make it simple. That's a good idea. So I'm going to come over here. I think I may shift everyone's perspective. Please forgive me, because I'm going to point it over towards the place where I'm going to be standing. And then, I don't know. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do, but I think I'm going to play. I'm in the mood to play some bass flute. So I'm going to play this.
All right.
And I might switch to something else.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Thursday Night Life music, and this is Dr. Adam Zanolini.
I like that, Lou.
Thank you.
It's wonderful to watch you working. You know, so many of the times, you know, we do things like collaborate on, you know, you painting, you know, like you're not, I can't see it. You're not doing it on the stage. You know what I'm saying? Like while it's happening, everybody else can see what you're doing. But like you're usually like facing us, and so we're facing the back of your canvas. Or some, it's never in a configuration where I can actually watch what you're doing while you're doing it. So it's brilliant to watch it, you know. And it's extra cool. This is like revelatory for me, man. I think next time we come to the Elastic Room, we do it. What I want to do is like put a camera on it and project it somewhere where the musicians can like see what's happening at the same time. Because it's always awesome when you like finish with like, oh wow, we didn't have any idea that was going on. But like,
I hear you.
Know, if we could like interactively like deal with it at the same time, man.
Yeah. You know, and this is a conversation I had with I've had with Avril Ra years ago.
Yeah.
And we just got together, and he was like, and this is probably a volcano radar gig, like at the Ukrainian Museum of Modern Art, like, you know, 6 or 7 years ago or something like that. And you know how, you know, you get sort of talking. We started talking like one of those conversations where we're not really going to remember the whole thing, but the essence is going to be there. But one of the things he was talking about was, you know, this is great, but I want to see you do it while you're doing it. You know, I would love that. Be able to sort of like react to each other.
Yeah.
And we finally got to do a little bit of that. It was last year, December of 2019, I guess. Is that right? And we got to do a little thing in Elastic where I did like a digital painting that was, I'm sorry, not Elastic, a Constellation. And it was big. So there was a big digital painting. Marvin Tate was there, Matt Hyatt, and set it up specifically so that, you know, because of this conversation we had. So like Avril and I could say, you know, I want to get, you know, not only to the healing arts that he's about and that I'm about, but the real-time interaction would be, you know, not just like, you know, me telling a story after it's already been like when the vibration's a little bit there. But like you sort of could see there, I'm trying to grab the sound and let it guide really what this does. In a sort of early animation sort of way. And not put myself on there. Really just like let the music create this thing, you know, like get out of the way as much as, and you know, that's I remember talking to Talib Ziyad about that, just like getting out of the way. You know, that's one of the most important things is letting it happen. Of course, you're bringing your experience and you're bringing your skills and all that, but just letting it do what it wants to do. Yeah, I mean, I think the last time we got to work together was, I think, at Marvin Tate's summer gig, and that's probably going back, you know, a year and some.
I think you might be right.
And that painting is yours, by the way. Whenever I can.
I love that painting. That painting is so fresh, man. I couldn't believe it because that's another thing. I'm up there doing what I did. You know, I generally don't do like, you know, solo kinds of stuff. You know, so I was up there, you know, doing it, you know, in not my usual way of expressing myself. And, you know, so I got off the stage, and oh man, it's such a really, really cool painting, man. I can't wait to see that again. Yeah,
that's yours. And again, that's like Marvin setting up this environment, right?
Yeah.
I was like, all right, this is a little bit out of your comfort zone, and there's not a bunch of cameras here. Who cares? You know, and there's some food over there. We're all doing a fellowship. We're breaking breaking bread. And now, you know, like you and I are breaking virtual bread.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I hear what you're saying, and I'm all about that, man. I'm all about not only expanding it to what I do, but like once it's done as more of a discipline, then other creative artists and other visual artists be going, well, let me get on that bus. You know what I mean? And let's the next thing you know, other things are happening. That's exciting to me.
It's exciting to me too, man, because that's what I'm saying. Like, I really love that relationship between the visual arts and the performing arts. But like as a as a musician, I get in my whatever I'm used to doing. We do whatever we do, and then every once in a while you encounter some new thing, right? And they're like, oh, we're gonna do like a dance. Like, you're gonna deal with some dancers, right? And then you have to like deal with like how you're interacting with the dance, and it's like, it's not like we're going to play some music and you're going to dance to it. We want to have like an interactivity. But I know how to react when the piano player plays a certain chord. I know how to react when there's a rhythm. But, there's all kinds of like different dance traditions where the musicians like interact with the dancer, and the dancer kind of dictates what the rhythm's going to be, and the musician kind of deals with that. So that's something that we have to learn. It's like a skill and a practice that we want to, exercise. And so this has just opened my eyes to the same kind of phenomenon where like we can explore that interactivity between like the visual universe and the sonic universe in extremely cool ways.
Well, Adam, I think of it, I've always thought about it this way. When I first started getting into this, my imagination took me to early primitive man, right? And the tribe's getting together, and somebody decides, all right, so we got this food, the weather's right, let's get outside the opening of this structure, this cave or whatever. And somebody started playing music, and people started dancing. And then there's somebody like myself, be like, oh, I know what I can contribute to this. And they start painting, they start painting in the sand. They start painting on the inside of the cave. And next thing you know, people's gifts start to come out. And you're like, oh, that's going to happen. You're like, well, I'm going to be over here and do my thing, and but it's going to be part of the collective thing. And then that brings apart like, there's people making love over there in the corner, and there's people having conversations about what's going on over here, and it's a meeting ground. And I hate the word neutral, because that's just, I don't know, just doesn't like that word much anymore, because there's a lot of things not to be neutral about. But it's a dialogue, where everybody gets together on this. And I often think of art as almost like a Greek muse, where it's a separate entity that is guiding, and it's, we're talking about spiritual ancestors, but we're also talking about that abstract scientific notion of something that's there, that's outside of you, that is, keeping the frame on the canvas, or keeping the parameters so it doesn't get out too far. You know what I mean? And so people can still hear it, so people can still be involved. When it gets a little more outer spacey, people can sort of like, well, that's not where I live, But if it's, if you've got 1 foot on the ground and your head's up here, and, next thing you know, that's where we're talking about improvisation too. That's when, the good ideas come, and let's do it this way. Let's do it a way that we haven't done it before. And let's get together on this. And, I love that stuff, right? I mean, that's like, it's kind of like we're getting back to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel that way too. I love it. I mean, we keep coming back to that. That's one of the things I love about some of this music, that we do, is like, there's abstraction in it, but it's not like pure abstraction, It's like, I think of it like a rocket, Rocket's a big explosion, and it can take you all the way to outer space, but have like a tower to point that rocket going in the right direction. You want to have a little bit of structure on it in order to send it the way you want it to go. If it's not channeled in a certain direction, that's just a big explosion,
Yeah.
So I kind of like
as an executive director, there's got to be calculations.
Yeah, that's the truth.
We're going to do it on this day. This is how much it's going to cost. All that beautiful stuff. So that the people can just, one of the things I love about Elastic is when it's open and running, like it usually has been, you could just show up, and you know, and get that surprise and get that like, this is why I breathe air and eat food and do my job, so I can do this thing, you know, and you know, and that's just a beautiful thing, and it's not just nice and sort of doing it's so important, man. It's just, and you know, we're living in a time now where we're striving for that even more, and we're seeking that even more.
Yeah, I mean that's what I feel too. Is it's like it's really a mess. How much we need to come together and come to a show, and how much it's not possible. You know, how much we need all this fellowship and to try to figure out what the hell is going on, and like where do we fit in it, what do we do about it, and like everything is so crazy. We need like what we used to do so badly, and it's just not really possible right now. You know, so
I missed the hang. You know, I missed the hang before, in between sets, and sometimes that's when the magic would happen. Like that's what I said. Like that's when Avriel and I would have conversation about, you know, what just happened or what we could do. You know, and you know I almost feel like the world in itself is trying to take that away, and it's our job to bring it back. You know what I mean? Because we're resourceful.
Yeah.
You know. We're going to like, it's going to happen. Absolutely. We need this. I mean, one of the reasons I call this thing life music is because it's lifeblood, you know?
Yeah, we really, really need it. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't, I mean, what would life be without this? I don't want to know. I don't want to find out, man.
No, I don't. And yeah, it's not going to happen. This is going to squeeze us, you know, those people that are used to improvising, I'm sure, are going, oh, okay, another one. You know, another obstacle, another way for me to shine and show like where my brain can go.
Yeah.
And where, you know, what I can make happen. And Elastic has done that. You know, I was part of, I did this thing with Crystal Sabal, and we did a virtual thing at the fundraiser, and I trust that went well.
Yeah, it went amazing. Like cool. We were like, oh man, we can't have our annual benefit gala thing that we always have. We're not going to get the money we usually get. Oh, woe is us and stuff like that. Well, maybe we could try to do like a virtual thing and see if anybody comes to that. Man, it was incredible.
Yeah,
it was absolutely incredible. All these people showed up. There's all this energy in the chats and stuff. The productions, I think people were just really raring to put some stuff together and do something creative. And people came out with some unbelievable performances. And the community rallied around us and really contributed a lot of money. And we made even more than we usually make. It was unbelievable.
That's great. That's good.
Yeah, and everyone left feeling happy. And it's not only, you know, the benefit isn't really just about the money. It's really about, because, you know, the thing about Elastic is there's so many different kinds of music and art and performance that people do there, you know? And so if you're into jazz, you may not come through for like the hip hop stuff. You may not come through for the dance stuff or the film stuff or the experimental, you know, electronic music and stuff or the performance art. But like with the benefit, we try to like put all of those things together, you know, on the same night to kind of represent the wholeness of everything that we do, you know. And so we have like, you know, people from, you know, like the punk music crowd and people from, you know, the visual art world and people from the jazz world kind of coming together and seeing what each other does, like kind of in a rare, you know, setting. And so
on the same
that happened really well at the virtual benefit too. It was great.
Right.
It was really great.
And that stuff exists now. You know, if people want to explore it, you know, there's an Elastic channel on YouTube, I'm assuming.
That's right.
Yeah. So they can check that stuff out. And just, you know, and see what the possibilities are. And it's and I've talked to many musicians about this and artists about, you know, between March when the wall came down and when we can kiss and hug each other again, history will be asking sort of like, what did you do? You know, did you sort of just wait it out and play video games, or did you you know, did you really take advantage of it? You know, and there's a temptation. I know. I mean, there's a whole, kind of just like, oh, you hear the news and Fauci saying this and that, and you're like, oh, it's not going to happen until next summer. But, you know, and the uptick and all that kind of stuff. But again, I just go, okay, you know, like, let's make it happen. You know what I mean? Like, this little show thing that I'm doing is just my version of it. And I see a lot of artists are doing stuff like that. And I think there's going to be really cool stuff that's going to come out that we don't know about until it's over. Meaning like, okay, I composed this opera. Here you go.
Yeah,
you
right.
know?
There's a lot of people
I wrote this book
right now. You know, I don't know what's going to happen when this shit's over, man. People are recording like crazy. People are writing like crazy. You know, and you know, I'm a kind of acoustic kind of cat, right? I like a physical thing that I'm dealing with, you know. But people, you know, are really, really exploring whole new terrains in the digital universe that lend themselves more to like, you know, virtual production and stuff like that. Dealing more with, you know, it's sort of like an opportunity to really, really dig in to new forms, new instruments.
Hey Coco, how are you? Miss Coco Elisis is here. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, it's I think I just lost your. I might have lost your audio there for a second, but and this happens with the virtual world, right? Well, give us a little breathing time. So I can't. Can you hear me? You can't hear me? Hey, let's do this, Adam. Let's close it down and come back on. That sound good? Okay, I'm gonna cut it off and we'll come back on.